Hi everyone, it's Toby here. I'm going to skip my presentation because it's cringe. So, I recently made a post on my Tumblr asking you to share your negative experiences with our commissions, whether you were the client or the artist. I've gotten a few of them and I thought I'd make this video to talk about them properly. Don't worry, they'll stay anonymous. I won't show anything on screen. Just read them out while leaving out any details that might point to specific places or situations. As for me personally, I've only done a handful of commissions so far, and I've been lucky. Nothing has really gone wrong yet. But I know that could change at any time. The more you put yourself out there, the more likely it is you'll run into a hiccup sooner or later. Oh, and before I forget, what you're watching on screen right now is actually my latest commission. I figure I'll run the speed paint while I go through some of the messages you sent in. Alright, let's dive into the first one. So the first one says, thankfully, I've mostly been lucky, but I recently paid over $400 for a large, detailed piece. And at this point, it's been almost a month since I've heard anything from the artist, despite repeated requests for a check-in since I got the sketch. I certainly hope everything is okay with them. They never struck me as anything other than genuine, but I'm also worried I'm just being ghosted. Okay, so in this case, honestly, waiting a month for a commission isn't that unusual, especially if the piece is more complex. That said, even if an artist is busy, whether it's personal stuff, other commissions, school, or whatever it is, it really wouldn't hurt to send a quick message just to say, hey, I haven't forgotten about you, I'm still working on it. Because getting ghosted, yeah, it's not a great feeling, especially when you've paid real money for a service. In my opinion, weekly updates should be the bare minimum. Nothing crazy, a quick note, a little whip, screenshot, just something to show that progress is being made. And honestly, if no deadline was set at the beginning, it's pretty normal for a piece to take a month or a couple of months, maybe even 3. Personally, I tend to work a bit faster, which is why I only do take 2 commissions at a time. That way I can really focus and make sure I'm delivering quality without making people wait forever. All right, and that's it. So good luck with that. Second, ask. Been waiting. Okay, so when I was in 12th grade, my old middle school asked me to draw a wall mural of their mascot playing a sport, which I did. We signed a contract that afterward they would pay not only for all the paint and supplies used, but for the time I worked on it. They weren't able to pay immediately, so I tried to set up payments plans. 2 months, I only have like $25 given out of the $1,500 I was promised. So I kept reminding and being on their asses about it, but they did not pay me fully until 2 years this year later when I threatened to sue. Always calculate and make people pay first before doing the work. Worst thing ever. I'm glad I was at least smart enough to do a contra thing. Okay, so first of all, massive respect to the person who sent this one. You handled that like a total pro. And get him then to sign a contract, it was a smart move. But man, a school hiring you for a commission and then refusing to pay? That's just embarrassing on their part. Aren't they supposed to set the example? Instead, they acted like complete scammers. I mean, come on. $25 out of a $1,500 payment? What even is that? Were they trying to insult you or something? Anyway, props to you for the threatening legal action. I'm sure they quickly realized it would cost them way more to fight it than just to pay what they owed. And suddenly, surprise, surprise, the money shows up. Too convenient, right? Okay, third one is pretty long. So, there was this one artist who I had commissioned prior and had a wonderful experience with. I decided to commission them again and provided a photo I thought would work, along with references of the characters I wanted. Blah, blah, blah. Since the first time I had commissioned them went well, instead of tipping after receiving the drawing, I gave them an extremely generous tip, 65-70% with my commission payment. My biggest regret ever. They ended up delivering the finished commission in less than 30 minutes after I had paid. Oh my god, 30 minutes. Mind you, this was a fully rendered, colored, half-body commission with 2 characters and a slight background. It looked horrible. The drawing was extremely rushed, sloppy, and looked nothing like the characters. I don't understand why they felt the need to rush. I told them after paying to take as long as they needed. I don't mind waiting. I tried communicating with the artist to make changes in order to salvage the commission. However, the changes they made were also done quickly, resulting in more problems. Jeez. I can't even describe how horrific this commission looks. Although the artist was polite, it was clearly they had no real interest in attempting to fix it. So I gave up and thanked them for making the changes they did. I regret thanking them. I feel ridiculous typing this, but I cried my heart out afterwards. It made me feel stupid and scammed. I'm not rich. This was a huge luxury purchase for me. I can't even look at the commission. The experience was so bad it made me contemplate never commissioning another person again. It also ruined how I feel about the first commission that I actually loved. Based off the messages and the fact they never posted it, unlike my first commission, the artist also clearly disliked it. I've never posted anything or told anyone online about this before, since the artist still takes commissions. They look really good and their clients seem extremely happy with what they receive. I don't want my one bad experience to hurt this artist from potentially receiving more clients. My honest guess is that they had some personal stuff going on, since they briefly mentioned it in a post, and rushed my drawing to clear more slots. Or perhaps they realized while drawing that the photo I provided wasn't going to work. However, since they were already paid and didn't want to do more work than necessary, they gave me a very, 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 very bad product. All right, just a quick note from me. I don't accept tips. Yeah, I know. Probably sounds kind of silly, but I prefer to get paid up front. And tipping before I've even started the piece just doesn't really make sense to me. Plus, where I live, tipping isn't a big cultural thing. When it happens, it's usually just pocket change. Anyway, moving on. 30 minutes after payment. Something is very sus here. And no, you're not ridiculous for being upset. That must felt awful, not just because the drawing turned out terrible, but because of the way you were treated. Honestly, it sounds like the artist lacked basic empathy or even a sense of professionalism. Like, if they had even the slightest bit of self-awareness, they would have offered you a partial refund, maybe even a full one, especially since they didn't even bother to share or post the artwork. I hate to say it, but yeah, you got scammed. But that doesn't make you dumb. You commissioned them before, you have no reason not to trust them. Maybe, and this is just me speculating, but maybe they thought returning clients aren't worth as much as new ones, which is ridiculous because returning clients are the best. They come back, they're loyal, they already like your work. That's literally the dream for any artist. Now look, I understand people go through stuff, life happens, burnout happens, mental health struggles happen. We're not machines, but there needs to be a basic level of communication. That's just common sense. If you're struggling, just say so. If you're not feeling the character or you realize commissions aren't for you, just be honest, refund, and move on. Not every artist is built for commission work. Drawing skill alone isn't enough. You've got to understand what your client is asking for and do your best to bring that vision to life. Seriously, you can't just let people like that get away with it. If they did it to you, chances are they'll do it to someone else. Artists who act like they're untouchable just because they can draw, no thanks. You're offering a service. And when someone pays for that service, you owe them respect, consistency, and honesty every single time. Number 4, only have had issues a few times as a client, and these 2 cases have been an artist just cheesing old communication and ignoring attempts at contact even after half a year or more. One didn't reply until I dragged PayPal into it to get my money back at least. I don't mind an artist taking time. That's naturally fine, but ignoring a client is going to cause a lot of anxiety. But that's only 2 bad cases out of surely 40 commissions by now. First of all, congrats. That 2 bad experiences out of 40, that's a pretty good ratio, not gonna lie, I don't know. But yeah, once again, the real enemy here is poor communication. You absolutely did the right thing by going through PayPal for refund. Hopefully that all worked out for you. What's wild is how they only replied after you opened a dispute. Like really, 6 whole months with no updates, and then suddenly you have time to talk. Unless there was like some catastrophic personal tragedy, there's no really excuse. And sadly, scammers love to hide behind fake tragedies. You know, the kind, sorry I didn't respond, my mom died giving birth to the secret love child of her high school chemistry teacher. Like, come on. So yeah, I get it. Being ignored like that sucks. It's disrespectful, plain and simple. And just to be fair here, not every client is an angel either. Some clients really struggle with boundaries. They expect daily or even hourly updates, and that's just not how commissions work. Art takes time. Communication is important, yes, but not to the point of micromanagement. A good commission experience requires teamwork, respect, patience, and clarity on both sides. So let's meet in the middle, okay? All right, number 5. This one is short. The first commission I've ever got was for 3 pieces at once. I finished 1 drawing for them within 2 weeks, but they didn't want to wait that long for the other 2, so they refused to pay me for the one I did and then ghosted me. Yeah, unfortunately, I hear this kind of story all the time from other artists. You finish the piece, send it off, and then the client just vanishes into thin air without paying. It's such a common mistake, especially early on. The best thing to do in these cases is always get paid upfront. If not the full amount, then at least 50%. Or another option is to only send work in progress shots with low resolution and big, ugly watermarks slapped all over them just to protect yourself. Sure, some clients might complain they can't really see what's going on clearly. So yeah, that has its downsides too. Personally, that's why I prefer upfront payment. That way I can send clean, detailed files without constantly stressing about getting ghosted. But seriously, never finish and deliver a full piece unless you've been paid, ever. We made it to the last one. As number 6, I was dumb and wanted to help a small artist when they needed money fast. Commission them, send them the money, and some extra too, and never heard of them ever again. Ignored me, blocked me. Yeah, never going to commission an artist that wants payment up front ever again. Oh, this one is rough. Honestly, you were super generous to give them even more than what was agreed on, so I'm really sorry it ended like that. From the way you describe it, it's a scam. It's awful that there are people out there who exploit either their art skills or emergency situations, if they're real, just to steal money from folks who genuinely want to help. No wonder people stop trusting anyone, not even when it comes to charity work. In cases like this, I really think the best thing to do is to try and talk things out first. And if you get blocked, go public. Make a post, tag the artist, share the proofs you have. People need to know. It's the right thing to do. And that last thing you said, I totally get it. From an artist's perspective, asking for upfront payment is a way to protect ourselves from shady clients. That's why I personally always ask for payment before I start, but I also offer refunds when it's fair. And I have a TOS, Terms of Service, to lay everything out as clearly as possible. Plus, most platforms that handle payments can step in and help if anything goes wrong for either side. So yeah, the more transparent we are, the better for everyone involved. All right, that's all for now. Thank you so much to everyone who shared their stories with me. I know some of them were hard to talk about, so seriously, I appreciate the honesty. Hopefully, if nothing else, this helps a few people feel less alone or maybe even avoid a bad experience themselves. If you got more stories, feel free to drop them in the comments or send me an ask on Tumblr. I'm always down to read more. And hey, if you're commissioning or doing commissions, be kind, be clear, and don't ghost people. Cool? Cool. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.